In today's video, we will see few examples of stability using Routh-Hurwitz criteria. So the first example which we are going to consider is the characteristic equation of a system which is given by 3s to the power 4 plus 10s cube plus 5s square plus 5s plus 2 equal to 0. So we will see whether the system described by this particular characteristic equation is stable or not. First, we have to find whether the given characteristic equation satisfies the necessary condition for stability. So the condition is we have to see the coefficients of S whether it is positive or not. Yes, if we observe all the coefficients over here are positive. Therefore, and it is non-zero. So it satisfies the necessary condition. So our next thing is to find the sufficient condition. So to go for the sufficient condition, we need to construct the Routh's array. So we will start constructing the Routh's array. So our highest power of S is 4. So we'll start with S to the power 4, S cube, S square, S to the power 1 and S to the power 0. So we will write the even term coefficients first. So 3, 5 and 2. So our first row contains 3, 5 and 2. Our second row contains the coefficients of S cube and S. So S cube coefficient is 5 and the S cube coefficient is 10 and S coefficient is 5. So now we will write the elements of the third row. So before going to the elements of the third row, we can see that the second row, these values are divisible by 5. So we divide this by 5. So when we divide it by 5, we have this as 2 and this is 1. So now our new values are 2 and 1 for the second row, which makes our calculation simple. So now we'll go for finding the third row elements. So as we have discussed in the previous video, the third row element is obtained by considering the determinant of this matrix. So we'll write it as 2 into 5 minus 3 into 1 divided by 2. So it is 2 into 5 minus 3 into 1 divided by 2. So it is 10 minus 3, which is 7, 7 by 2. So our third row first element becomes 7 by 2. Likewise, the next value will be 2 into 2 minus 3 into 0 divided by 2. So 2 into 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this is our element. So 7 by 2 and 2. So what will be our next element, next row element? So it is 7 by 2 into 1 minus 2 into 2. So 7 by 2 minus 4 divided by 7 by 2. So our next element is 7 by 2 minus 4 divided by 7 by 2. What are we going to get if we simplify it? 7 by 2 minus 4 divided by 7 by 2. It becomes 7 minus 8, which is minus 1 by 2 into 2 by 7, which is minus 1 by 7. So if we simplify this s to the power 1 row element, we are going to get minus 1 by 7. So what will be our last row value? It is minus 1 by 7 into 2 minus 7 by 2 into 0 divided by minus 1 by 7, which is equal to 2. So now if we look into this, we have our first column elements as 10 instead of 2, 7 by 2, minus 1 by 7 and 2. So 3 to 10 there is no sign change, or 3 to 2 there is no sign change. 2 to 7 by 2 also there is no sign change, but 7 by 2 here it becomes negative. That means this is plus, this is minus, this is plus again. So this is the first sign change and this is the second sign change. That means there are two sign changes in the first column of the roots array, which indicates that there are two roots which lies on the right half of the S plane. So therefore we can conclude that the system which is described by this characteristic equation is unstable. So our next example, we have the characteristic polynomial of a system which is given. So for which we will find whether the system is stable or not. So the first condition is to find the necessary condition. So the necessary condition is satisfied because we can see all the coefficients are positive and non-zero. So the necessary condition is satisfied. We'll next move on to finding the sufficient condition. To find the sufficient condition, we need to construct the roots array. Right now the highest power of S in this particular example is 5. So we'll consider the odd orders first in the first row, then we'll go for the even orders. So our first row is related to S to the power 5. Next will be S4, S cube, S square, S1 and S0. So our first values will be 1, coefficients are 1, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2 and 6. Our next row will be 3, 6 and 9. 3, 6 and 9. So the second row we can divide it by 3, and in that place we can write it as 1, 2 and 3. So our second row elements are 1, 2 and 3. after dividing by 3. So we'll write our third row elements. So if we observe the third row elements, it is 1 into 2 minus 1 into 2 by 1. That means 2 minus 2 is 0 by 1, which is 0. The next value is this is 0. The next value is 1 into 6 minus 1 into 3 divided by 1. That means 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 by 1 is 3. So we have 0 and 3. So right now this is a special case of roots array wherein the first element of a row is 0. So what happens is when we find the elements of the next row, what we will do, it is 0 into 2 minus 1 into 3 by 0. Anything divided by 0 is infinity. Therefore, we cannot proceed further. So this is one of the special case of roots array wherein we are getting a value 0 in the first element of a row. So if you and other values are non-zero, in that case what we are supposed to do is we will take a value, a small value in place of 0 as epsilon. So instead of 0 we will represent it by a small number which is epsilon. And then we will proceed with the construction of the array. So our new elements of the row s to the power 3 is epsilon and 3. So we have our new values for the third row, which is epsilon and 3. With this epsilon and 3 we have to construct the next row elements. So right now we will construct the next, we'll find the next row elements, which is epsilon into 2 minus 1 into 3 divided by epsilon. So it becomes 2 epsilon minus 3 divided by epsilon. It's 2 epsilon minus 3 by epsilon. And next is 3 epsilon minus 0 divided by epsilon. So 3 epsilon by epsilon becomes 3. Okay. Next we have our next row elements, that is 2 epsilon minus 3 by epsilon into 3 minus 3 epsilon divided by this thing. So what you get is 2 epsilon minus 3 divided by epsilon into 3 minus 3 epsilon by 2 epsilon minus 3 by epsilon. So if we consider this as separate term and simplify, what we get here is 3. If we simplify this, we get 3 minus 3 epsilon square divided by 2 epsilon minus 3. So this will be our term. So I'll write here as 3 minus 3 epsilon square divided by 2 epsilon minus 3. That is s to the power 1 element. Then the last row value is this, you multiply it by 3 this minus 0 divided by same thing, you will land up with 3. So right now we have constructed the roots array. We will look into the stability. So we are not interested with the magnitude. In root stability criteria, we are interested only in the signs of the terms in the first column and not in their magnitudes. So we will examine the first column of the roots array. So you have epsilon. So what to do with this epsilon now? So when we are finding the stability, this epsilon should be treated as a small number, is treated as a small number. So the smallest non-zero number is smallest number which we can take is 0. So we take limit, we consider limit epsilon tends to 0. So what will it happen if we consider epsilon as 0? So this becomes 0. Okay. Next, what happens to the s square root? 2 epsilon by epsilon. Epsilon will get cancelled. Okay. So for this, and you will have minus 3 by epsilon here. Minus 3 by epsilon here it is equal to. So if you substitute the limit epsilon tends to 0, this becomes infinity. But we are not interested in the magnitude. We are interested only in the sign in order to decide the stability. Then s to the power 1, it is 3 minus, it is 3 epsilon here, 3 epsilon square divided by 2 epsilon minus 3. It is 3 into 0 square. Anyways, these terms become 0. So it will be 3. So we will not consider the magnitude of this. We will just consider the sign. So if we consider the sign over here, we can see that first is positive. This is positive. This is also positive. From s square, you see this is negative. This is positive, s square is negative, and this is again positive. That means positive to negative one sign change, negative to positive it is the second sign change. So here there are two sign changes. We have not seen the magnitude. There are two sign changes in this. That means two roots lie in the right half of the S plane, or two poles lie in the right half of the S plane. Hence, we can consider that or conclude that this system is unstable.